Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Volcanic deck profile. So someone actually commented on my video, commented on two of my videos, and actually requested a Volcanic update where I focused a little bit on Volcanic Doomfire. So I actually did. I'm actually only playing one of Volcanic Doomfire because you only really need one. It kind of breaks it more than one. But I have some really interesting new cards that I'm putting in this deck that you guys are going to be really excited to see. So without further ado guys, let's get straight on this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down there so you can become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing one of the big bad boy himself, and that's one copy of Volcanic Doomfire. You need to play one copy of Doomfire in this deck because Doomfire just special summons himself off of sending Tri-Blaze Accelerator from the graveyard, or to the graveyard, and our Blaze Accelerator reload counts as Tri-Blaze Accelerator, so that's why we play it as a one-of in this deck. And during your opponent's battle phase, your opponent must attack this card with any attack position monster they control, and when this card destroys an opponent's monster in battle and sends it to the graveyard, destroy all the monsters your opponent controls and inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed by this card effect. Really, really good card, but just a good one-of in the deck. Then I play two copies of the new Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner. I feel like this card is really interesting in this deck, actually. If a face-up fire monster you control is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack of one of the destroyed fire monsters in your graveyard, and you can only special summon once per turn, so that's why I only play two of it. I feel like it's a good card as a two of, and it's an interesting, tactic to use in this deck. If you wanted to play more copies of Doomfire, you could definitely put, maybe a second Doomfire in here over the Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner. That's entirely up to you, but this is the way I'm playing the deck. So then we play three copies of Volcanic Rocket. This basically is the searcher of the deck. You normal summon this card, and then once you do, you get to add a Blaze Accelerator card from your deck to the hand, which is our copy of Blaze Accelerator Reload, which is a really good card to, just search. Then we play one copy of Volcanic Slicer. I only play the one copy of Slicer because I am playing Ties of the Brethren. It's not that great of a card because it just inflicts 500 points of damage to your opponent, and then this card can attack the turn you activate this card. But during time rules, this card can come in quite handy. So then we play two copies of Royal Firestorm Guards. When this card is normal summoned, you get to target 4 Pyro monsters in your graveyard and shuffle all 4 into the deck, then draw 2 cards, which is really, really good. Two copies of the Barrier Statue of Infernos. No monsters can be special summoned except fire, which is really, really cool to be able to just Vanity's Fiend or Vanity's Emptiness your opponent, but not you. Then I play 3 copies of Volcanic Scattershot. Scattershot is really, really good. This card, if it's sent to the graveyard, you inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. And if this card is sent to the graveyard for the effect of a Blaze Accelerator card, you can send 2 Volcanic Scattershots from your hand or deck to the graveyard and destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So you inflict 1500 points of damage to your opponent, and on top of that, you destroy their entire field, which is really, really important to the deck. And this deck kind of flows around the Scattershot combo, where you just do Tri-Blaze Accelerator Reload, then you activate its effect, where you send a Volcanic card from your hand to the grave, and then if you do, draw a card. Scattershot goes to graveyard, and then you send the extra ones to grave, and then blow up the board, which is really good. Then we play one copy of Counter. I thought about playing more than one Counter, but I just can't, justify it. Because it's not a level 4. If it was level 4, it'd be more playable, but I just played it as a one-of. But if you take damage when this card's in your graveyard, you can move and play it. Then if there's a other fire monster other than Volcanic Counter in the grave, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took. Normally, your opponents don't read the cards in your grave, and they forget, and they do like 4k damage, and they've only got 3k, and they hit into this, and then it ends the duel, which is really funny. Then we play 3 copies of Volcanic Shell. Once per turn, when this card's in your graveyard, you pay 500 life points to add another shell from your deck to your hand, which is really cool. Really good card, and I have to say, I play it, I use its effect quite a lot with Reload. So, I have one more monster that I play, and that is 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Yes, it is a fire monster, so it kind of plays in with this. But you play 3 copies of Ash Blossom to make this deck semi-competitive with what you can do. This deck actually topped a couple of years ago, which was really surprising when Reload came out. And I know people are going to talk about that for ages. So, then we play, for the spells, 3 copies of Call by the Grave, just to kind of, prevent our opponent from hand trapping us. You need 3 copies of Ties of the Brethren because it's really easy to first turn, like normal summon. Like your big play that I do in this deck a lot is I normal summon Rocket, and then I activate Ties of the Brethren. I'll summon Slicer, inflict 500 points of damage to my opponent on the first turn because I can't do damage anyways, and then summon out Barrier Statue of Infernos, which will give me a monster that can't be destroyed by, or not can't be destroyed, but then my opponent can't special summon. So they have summoned something that's 1,000 or more attack, which isn't that hard, but it can really interrupt my opponent because I have ways of stopping them from even attacking my Barrier Statue. So we kind of focus on the Barrier Statue and summoning Doomfire in this deck to be able to just OTK our opponent. Then we play 3 copies of Pot of Duality just to search what we need to search. If we don't open up Ties of the Brethren, we have Pot of Duality to do what we need to do. And then for the last 2 spell cards, it is 2 copies of Magical Planter. Magical Planter works with our spells and traps, or traps that are continuous to send them to grave to be able to draw 2 cards, which works very well with our Tri-Blaze Accelerator Reload. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to play 3 copies of a mystery card. So this card is something that I played in my previous Volcanic deck profiles, but I don't know if you guys know what it is. So comment down below, tell me what you think it is. I love playing this game with you guys. Just comment down there, tell me what you think this is, and I'll reveal it in, say, 5 seconds. So tell me what you think this card is. It's a trap card that you use to protect your monsters. And really interesting card. So we're going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So the card that I'm playing is 3 copies of Magic Cylinder. I know that's a little bit crazy, and you guys are probably going to comment and be like, why are you playing that? But the reason you play this is because your Barrier Statue needs protection. So you use this to burn your opponent for additional life points. And it can really help you out quite a lot by playing this or something similar to it like Blazing Mirror Force. But I didn't like Blazing Mirror Force because by using Blazing Mirror Force, you're destroying your opponent's monsters and inflicting damage to you and your opponent. By using Magic Cylinder, you're just inflicting damage to your opponent. And yes, it does target, but if they attack you with like Boral Sword, you can activate this, hit your opponent with 3k, and then go on, try it again. Then, let's say they attack you again, you use the effect of your, what's it called, in the grave, counter in the grave, and you inflict additional like 2,000 to your opponent. Next turn, you summon out like Scattershot, Blow Board, and then you're like, okay, now what? They're already down, 45 just off the Magic Cylinder and the other copy of your, what's it called? The Barrier Statue, and then the 2k from that, so that's 5. They're already down 6,500 off of that, so all you have to do is inflict 1,500 more life points and you win. So this deck is very intellectual, where you have to burn your opponent for life points and do damage with Doomfire and stuff like that. So then we play 2 copies of Fiendish Chain. I only play 2 now. I bumped it down from 3 to 2. It does prevent your opponent from attacking, so it's just additional protection and to get monster negation and magical planter food. And then 3 copies of Blaze Accelerator Reload. This card's name becomes Tri-Blaze Accelerator while in the field or in the spell and trap card zone, and during either player's turn or during either player's main phase, you can send 1 Volcanic card from your hand to the grave. And if you do, draw a card, which is really good. And during either player's main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, send a Volcanic card from your deck to the grave, which kind of makes your it makes your Volcanic or Scatter Shot live even when it's in the deck, which is really, really, really good. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 1 copy of Fire Charmer Ablaze. This card is really good in this deck. I tried to stick closely to making a bunch of fire monsters in the extra deck that we can really summon under Barrier Statue. But this card is really a good card to play as a 1-of. I played 2 copies of Doolittle Chimera. You have to play it because it's a fire deck, and it increases the attack of all your fire monsters. Boral Load, it's not a fire, but it's still good, so you need it. Boral Sword, still good, not a fire monster. Nightmare Unicorn bounces monsters, so you need it as a 1-of. Nightmare Phoenix, this card is actually a fire monster, so you can use this and pop opponents' cards or spells and traps on their side of the field while you have Barrier Statue. Cerberus pops monsters. It's an earth, so you can't summon it under Barrier Statue, which kind of sucks. Underclock Taker, it's kind of there if you need it. Linkuriboh, interesting enough, you can normal summon out a shell, which is level 1, and then send it to the grave, summon Linkuriboh, pay 500, and then add another shell to hand, which is nice. And then I play the Utopia, the Lightning package, because this deck doesn't get really high attack points. And this can really end the game if you've gone like Scatter Shot and a Magic Cylinder on your opponent, which is Utopia, Utopia S Prime, and Utopia the Lightning. Just to be able to do 5k damage twice, I played the 39. Then I played number 30 or 59 Crooked Cook. This card is really interesting because if you have no other cards on the field, it's unaffected by all other card effects, which is an amazing, amazing effect. And it can destroy every card on your side of the field and then make you gain 300 life point or 300 attack points for each, which is cool. And then Baguska just kind of stall out our opponent. So that's it for the deck, guys. Just keep in mind, when you play the barrier statue, you can't always, you kind of lock yourself out of your own extra deck, but that's not that big of a deal, because if you can get like the Scorching Sunburner on the field, or you can get out like Doolittle Chimera plus Rocket, you're already normal summoning a 2400 beat stick on the field, so it's not that big of a deal. Anyways, like usually if I end with a board with like Doolittle Chimera on the field, like right here, I'll end with like Rocket, Inferno, and maybe a set Blaze Accelerator and a Magic Cylinder. I'm set. Like it's on. It's on. Because this is 2400, this is 1500. I have negates for days, and I just have plays. Like, you have so many plays in this deck, and it's so easy to win with this deck. You guys should really give it a try. So, anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed taking this video for you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell down there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.